But good morning, I'm Marcus Houston. I'm the Assistant Director of Samaritan Ministries. I'm excited today to introduce our speaker. He's one of our Cornerstone brothers. William is on staff at Samaritan as a shelter monitor. He came to Samaritan in 2016 after many years of prison and years of addiction. He came seeking help to live a different life, and now he's living his best life. So to give William some support this morning in telling this story, I would like to welcome Lainey Pope, Chief Meteorologist for WXII News. Lainey is no stranger to Samaritan and our mission. She's volunteered in our soup kitchen and many times has been the honorary chair for our penny campaign. Please give me a warm welcome for Lainey and William.
Well, as Marcus said, one of the things that you have to do in Project Cornerstone is be honest. Well, he's been honest with a group of men in a small room. Now he's going to be honest with this enormous crowd. And I bet you can only imagine how nervous he is this morning. So we're going to get through this, aren't we?
Okay.
Tell everybody good morning.
Good morning, everyone. First, I want to thank God for all these people.
Exactly. He says he wants to thank God for everyone that's here today.
And I thank God for Samaritan Ministry. You know, I got a brother came through there about 20-some years ago.
Right.
And they encouraged me to go there. And so.
Well, we're going to start at the beginning. Tell me about your childhood. And we know that life is built with a foundation, and everybody wants that wonderful foundation, loving mother, father, great environment. Tell me about your family growing up.
Well, really, I didn't have a good childhood growing up. My mother was very abusive. My father was very abusive to my mother, and I grew up a real angry child, and didn't too much love my father because of the way he did my mother and did us.
You started using drugs at what age?
At 12 years old. I started using hard drugs at 12 years old, and to try to erase a lot of stuff that was going on in my household, and it helped me cope with a lot of stuff in life.
There was something else that happened that was very tragic as a child.
I was molested as a 7-year-old, and when I was molested, I was hurt by that, and what I did, I suppressed it in life, and I was angry about that, but I dealt with it the best I could.
And you dealt with that with drugs. You also spent time in prison. You went to jail the first time when you were 18.
Yeah, my first time I entered the prison system, I was 18 years old, and went to prison for armed robbery, drug-related. And then got out of prison and tried to stop using drugs, but I continued to use, and it went on and on.
It was a roller coaster, right? I mean, you would try to get clean, try to have a normal life. You got married even, had kids. One of your daughters is here today.
Yeah, I have a daughter here today. My oldest daughter. But anyway, like Elena was saying, it was like a roller coaster. I could stop a while and go back using a while, but I started a family, and I said maybe if I get my life together, I can have kids and live a happy life. But the drugs wouldn't let me do these things. But anyway, I turned out the same way that my father did my mother. I was abusive to my wife, and I was very unmanageability trying to raise my kids, and went back to using drugs again.
Right, and you were in and out of prison. In fact, you were in and out of prison so many times that last time you had been labeled a habitual felon. You were going to go to jail for life. And that really was a wake-up call for you. And you spoke to God.
Yeah, I was tried for a habitual felon, and my lawyer came and talked to me and told me to say, they're going to try you for a habitual felon because you're a career criminal. And so what I did, I cried out to God. I said, God, please, this got to stop. And what happened was I kept praying, and my lawyer came back and told me, the DA gave you a good plea bargain. And I told her, I said, well, I'll take it,
You prayed for an army of individuals that would come and help you. And you had individuals pointing you in the direction of Project Cornerstone, right?
Yes. Well, after I started praying, I said, God, could you put just a little bit of men around me to help me be a man? But I kept praying, and I started reading the Bible, and I started reading certain passages in the Bible. I read about Job in the Bible. And what I did, I said, God, just please put a little bit of people around. But anyway, I ended up going to Project Cornerstone. And when I got to Samaritan Ministry, when I got there, I was scared.
Yeah.
I had never tried nothing like that.
You told me that you were standing outside the door and you were afraid to open the door.
Yeah, I was sitting on a bench outside Samaritan. It was hot in the summertime, and I said, God, if I could just touch that door, I believe my healing will start. And once I got inside, I was relieved, and I just know a lot of miracles are happening in Cornerstone and that Samaritan Ministry, because the lifestyle that I lived, a lot of individuals that came there about 20 or 30 years ago, they told me about that place, and I said, if it works for them, I believe it'll work for me.
But it was hard work. It's
Hard.
not easy.
It was hard work.
18 hours a day, 7 days a week, you're being held accountable.
Oh, yeah, they made us be held accountable, yeah.
Shantae especially.
Yeah, Shantae Fleming, she was my counselor there. And we used to be up 18 hours a day, and I wasn't used to it, and a lot of stuff was going through my head. I said, man, I ain't gonna be able to make this here. And Marcus was my roommate. I said, Marcus, this thing right here is too hard for me. And so Marcus said, hey, you can do this. He said, I've been here a while. He said, other people came before us, and he said, hang in there.
And you were able to hang in there, even though you had even a doctor's note at one point you were being treated by a therapist for depression and some suicidal thoughts during that time period. And you thought, well, if I get this note from the doctor, then I can sleep more and I don't have to do that 18 hours, right? This is a true story.
Yeah.
True. Twice it happened.
When we used to have a group in that Samaritan Ministry in Cornerstone, when we start a group at 9 in the morning, the counsel would come in and she'd say, what's working and what's not working? I said, well, what's not working is I'm not getting enough rest. And so what she told me, she said, well, you got to find a solution to this problem. So I said, well, okay then. And so what I did, I went to and talked to my therapist and talked to him, told him what was going on. And I said, this lady got me up for 18 hours and I'm not used to it. And so she said, and they asked me, said, what you want me to do? I said, she wanted me to have some paperwork. And so he gave me the paperwork, and I took it back to her, and she read it and everything, and she ripped it up and threw it in the trash can. And what happened was I was disappointed and upset. I said, you told me to do this. She said, let me explain this to you. This right here is not easy, and I run this program. And then she said, if you don't like how I'm doing this, she said, you can return back to all that pain that you've been going through in life and your drug addiction. And I had to get some thought. So I went back to Marcus. I said, she tore the papers up, Marcus. He said, I told you, you shouldn't have never took it to her.
She was tough when you needed somebody to be tough. We hear that phrase, tough love, and she definitely was tough. And we know there aren't any shortcuts to recovery, and you definitely know there aren't any shortcuts. In fact, look at this thick book you've got here. You brought some of these books because this is a part of your life now. Tell me about that.
In Project Cornerstone, when you start out, we get everybody to suffer with a drug addiction. This book was written by addicts for addicts, and my predecessors knew something was going to happen down the road. So this NA book right here, and just for today, this is what we get when we first come to Cornerstone, and then we start getting materials. And what happened is we start building a foundation that we can stand on, and we go to. Every day we had to go to meetings, and we had to have a meeting sheet we have to sign when we go out. And when we be in group, we would discuss the things that she would print out dealing with the disease of addiction. And not only that, it's more stuff in here containing about living life on life terms. And so what happened is everybody got a turn in the group. We would read it and share where we was at and where we fit in now. And we will elaborate on it.
Yeah, and you've got a huge 3-ring binder here that you can still reference, you say, if you come across something, because it's a lifelong process.
Oh, recovery's a lifelong process.
Tell me about Project Cornerstone, how it helped you emotionally, physically, spiritually. What are some important lessons that you learned going through that
I
program?
have learned to set boundaries, and I value people today, and I value my freedom.
How about trust?
Oh, trust is a big factor, you know. It's sure in NAA, they talks about being honest, being willing, and being open-minded. So I'm a real open-minded person, and I always leave a lot of room for correction.
That's right. And you have successfully now transitioned from being in Project Cornerstone to working at Samaritan, but you didn't take the first job that they offered you. I mean, this is something too that happened.
Now, I left Cornerstone, and about 4 months after I left Cornerstone, they offered me a job there, and I say, no, I don't think I want that job. I say, because the people, the outside guests and inside guests, knew what my track record was like. They knew I had been to prison, they knew how my lifestyle, they knew I used to fight, they used to do drugs, and I said, no, I don't want that job. And they said, we can really use you. And I said, well, find somebody else, and I didn't take it.
It was that fear of
it was a lot of fear
facing.
because I knew what I had to face in there.
Right, exactly. But when the pandemic hit, they came back and asked you again.
Yeah, they came back and asked me again, and I say, I don't think I still want it. And she said, well, pray about it and call me in a couple of days. And what I did, I prayed about it, and I remember being locked up. I made a vow to God. I said, whatever assignment you have for me, God, I'm willing to do it. So my assignment was Samaritan Ministry, and be there because I know the people that comes there, I know they have different issues.
And now you have a totally different life. You have a sober life. And we talked about not having a foundation as a child, but you have a foundation now, and you have that support. Tell me about your day. What's it like now?
Well, I wake up every morning about 5:30 in the morning, and God blessed me with 2 grandsons that's been living with me for 4 years. It ain't been easy, and they bring me joy. I have a purpose in life, and when I first started out, it wasn't easy because I had to go to some people and ask them for suggestions. And Marcus was one of them. I said, Marcus, these 2 boys live in an environment. And I said, the environment they live in, I don't want them to see that stuff. And Marcus said, no kid don't need deserve to do that. So me and Marcus, we used to talk to him, and I said, Marcus, one of them can't read and write. He ain't never been to school. I say, I don't know what to do. And he said, what you need to do is, we're gonna get a lot of material for him. And we got a lot of material. And he said, every day I want you taking by the hand, take the pencil, and learn him how to write his name and say his ABCs. And what I did that for 6 months. And one day he said, Granddaddy, I can write my name by myself, and I can say my ABCs, and I can count to 100. And it brought me joy. And I called Marcus. I say, Marcus, he's on his way.
That's right. He's on his way. You're raising and helping raise grandkids. You're working at Samaritan 3 days a week. You work out at the Y too, I hear.
Oh, yeah, I go to Y exercise.
Right? And you also take part in church.
Oh, I'm a deacon in my church, you know. I tell a lot of people this. People see stuff I can't see in myself today, you know. But I know it ain't me, it's God, you know. I give all glory to God now. I think my mother for not giving up. Well, that's my mother, you know.
Yeah, she's out here too.
So much, you know.
Helena is here too. And your sister. Your sister is also here, as well as your daughter. You said at one point, my past will not hold me hostage anymore. God forgave me, and I forgave myself.
Yeah, I don't too much let people take me back to revisit my past. My past is my past. And I take ownership. I'm responsible for everything I done, and I can't go and redo it, But the only thing I can do is keep moving forward and share some experience, strength, and hope to people that I meet on a daily basis.
Do you have any final thoughts about?
Yeah, I told my director, Jan Kelly, because Jan talked to me a lot, and I said, Jan, it's going to be a lot of more William Baileys. It's going to be a lot of more Tyrones, a lot of more William Pickett's, a lot of more Vernon Baileys that's going to do Samaritan ministry, but they're going to have different faces, and they're going to go through stuff in life. I say, but if they close these doors, I don't know what'll happen to a lot of people. I don't, because I see a lot of people come through there, because they ask me what goes on in there, and I say it's a lot. And I just know it's a spirit in there. I believe in the spirit, because I listen to that little small voice, and I've been up here since 4 o'clock, excited to come here, but I ain't know this many people gonna be here. I didn't know this many people.
I've been up since 4 o'clock too, and it was the thunder. Tell me about how much you love working at Samaritan.
I've been about 4.5, going on 4.5 years. I pray a lot. And that's part of this right here it's like a road map. Sorry about that.
Somebody saw you on the screen. You got it?
I get excited because
You want me to see if I can turn it off for you? Oh no, it's gonna happen.
I don't miss too many days of Samaritan ministry because I get excited, because I feel like if I miss.
And you know what, William? It's a potential scam call. Let them talk to you. At least you don't have a friend named that, right?
I don't miss days of Samaritan ministry because I know it's somebody need me there. Because I get a chance to talk one-on-one with a lot of them, because they ask me about my prison life, they ask about my drug life, and so I'll be eager to wake up every morning and go into work, and I'll be happy. When I get ready to go through the door, I talk to God, and when I walk through the door, I bring love, peace, and some joy with me, and kindness, because for a long time I didn't love myself, and I know I walked in a lot of the men in there, I walked in their shoes, and this right here, I couldn't vision nothing like this. I couldn't see nothing like this, I lost a lot of friends growing up. They died from drug addiction or a life of crime, and I couldn't see this.
One last thing. What do you think about seeing all these people out here supporting that program? What does that mean to you?
Bring joy to my heart. I know it's a God. I prayed. 2014, I said, God, I'm tired. I had did drugs and been in trouble all my life, off and on. I said, God, please help me. And I had suicidal thoughts. And I said, just give me one more chance, Lord. I'll do anything you tell me to do. And I said, I need a couple people to help me, but I ain't know this many people gonna be here. And I'm just a happy human being. My mother happy because she told me she was tired. I took her through so much, she said, I can't go through this with you no more, because she's the only person who came to visit me when I was in prison. And my mother never gave up, but she kept praying for me. And my daughter sitting there, she said, Daddy, I'm proud of you. And I'm proud of myself because I didn't think I could do this.
We're all proud of you.
As William and I prepared for today, he talked about the first person who told him about Samaritan, Tyrone Baldwin, who many of you know. He was a drug dealer in this community, and he went through our very first Project Cornerstone program in 1995. Tyrone bore witness to William in the late 90s about what recovery could look like. And William never forgot the change that he saw in Tyrone. As we look back, we can see that God was writing William's story of recovery and reconciliation even before William was ready. William saw Tyrone's life change, and now people see William's life change. We all have the opportunity this morning to actively participate in writing the stories of others to come after William. The story to come is about the mother with a 4-year-old child who will show up at our soup kitchen today because she doesn't have any food for her child. Imagine what it's like if you don't have the means to provide food for your child. The story to come is about the stranger who will show up at our doors tonight, uncertain about what's going to happen, but needing safe shelter this very night. Our guests who come to Samaritan suffer from abuse, from mental illness, from addiction, and from no place to call home. Imagine being 20 years old, not able to live with your family at home anymore because of mental illness. The story to come is about our current Project Cornerstone guests who are taking one day at a time right now and working hard on their recovery. Help us write the positive outcome for Vernon, for Rob, for John, for Michael, for Clifton, and for Scott. Samaritan remains a trusted place in Winston-Salem for our guests, but also for you who are our faithful donors. As you take a few minutes to consider your gift or pledge this morning, think about how faithful God has been in your life. Consider digging deeper than you expected to when you walked through the doors this morning because of the story that you've heard from William. Samaritan provides the very basic needs of food for the hungry day after day, safe shelter for people with nowhere to go night after night, and opportunities for addiction recovery to create positive life changes. Will you join us and be part of this vital mission for people that many in our community have overlooked and forgotten? You'll find a pledge card enclosed in your program. There are several options. You can write a check today. You can give online. You can make a pledge to be paid by the end of the year. You can also use the QR code that's on the back of your program or on the screen. We're flexible. Just let us know how you want to give. You might even think about a recurring gift. Giving $100 a month equates to $1,200 a year, which provides 328 meals in our soup kitchen. You are the hands and feet of Christ as you support Samaritan and walk alongside of us. We are really counting on you. You are our closest Samaritan friends, and you can help us keep this ministry moving forward. We provide food, shelter, and hope through Christian love 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We have never closed our doors. We have to remain a constant presence for our guests like William so that they can change their lives. Thank you all for being here this morning.